Welcome to Maiden Mother Crone Tarot, where we hold sacred space for divine divergence. My name is Kayla, and I'm so glad you're here. Today, we are going to do an open reading. I haven't done one like this, so it'll be interesting to see what comes through. We are going to start today with some oracle cards. This is the Spirit Junkie Oracle. It is my favorite. What do we need to know today? What does this ADHD collective need to remember about themselves? Oh, okay, that was a lot of cards, but I'm taking that. Do we need to ground more? Okay, got two that time. Before I began this reading, one card came out about friendship and leaning into friendship, knowing that our friends are there to support us. So that might be a message for someone out there. First we got, I am ready to go big, rise up, and step into my power. Wow. This card reminds me of the Very Hungry Caterpillar. It's one of my kids' favorites. They like to read it pretty much every day. Instead of taking on the fear of others, I reflect love. Wow, that looks like an eye, kinda, if you turn it this way. I believe this came out in one of our readings before. I am ready to go big, rise up, and step into my power. It's really interesting, just off of these two cards, you know, it's when we step into love, the energy of love as an embodied action and not just something that happens. You know, love is a choice. We choose to love every single day. And so when we can choose love instead of fear, that's when we really do go big and step into our full power, rising up in the expression of love. Okay. In my practice, I work with 3 spiritual archetypes: the Maiden, the Mother, and the Crone. This first deck is dedicated to the Maiden. Maiden, what does this ADHD collective need to know right now? What do we need to remember? What do we need to... Oh, these cards are a mess. Okay. We're going to take a couple of grounding breaths first. Breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, and hold for 4. We'll do this 3 times. And we will start now. Thank you so much for joining me in that. In that moment, I was choosing love for myself, choosing love for you. Instead of being overwhelmed by the energy I felt coming through, I decided to ground, and that is a choice of love. So thank you for joining me in that. Okay, so I feel like we might have a lot of people going through some overwhelm right now. All right, Maiden, what do we need to know right now? What does this ADHD collective need to know or remember? Please, Maiden. Okay. You can't make this stuff up. With the 7 of Cups on the bottom of the deck. That is all about too many choices, overwhelmed, too much going on. Yeah, I definitely felt that right now. So... thank you, Maiden, for that. All right, this next deck I'm going to shuffle off camera because the artwork is not YouTube friendly, even though it's beautiful. If you guys ever want to check it out, it is the Earth Woman Tarot. Mother, can you please give us guidance today for this ADHD collective? What do we need to know or remember? What could serve everyone the most right now? The highest good of all, please. Oh, we'll have to flip these over. Okay. Oh man, you guys, we got the sun on the bottom of the deck. Can you feel that? Can you feel that energy? Can you feel the warmth and the peace and the joy and the hope? I can feel it coming down my arm, just like radiating into me. That is such a beautiful message from the Mother. Thank you, Mother. Thank you so much. And then the last spiritual archetype we're going to work with today will be the Crone. Crone, can you please give us guidance? Please give this ADHD collective guidance. What do we need most to hear? What will bring the most clarity, please? What message needs to come through? Okay. And we have the Eight of Cups on the bottom of the deck. Okay. So, we had our 2 oracle cards that we discussed already. I am ready to go big, rise up, and step into my power. Instead of taking on the fear of others, I reflect love. Okay. Let's see what the Maiden had to say. Goodness. We've got the Page of Swords. Page of Swords. Justice. Ooh. Love to see that. Justice. And the Ace of Pentacles. I might have this in the wrong spot. Sorry guys, I can't see the camera. Trying a new setup today. So let me know how you guys like it, please. Alright. What do we need most to hear with this overwhelming energy that we had? Let's fix this. This was up here. Okay. So when I got this card, I'm ready to go big, rise up, and step into my power. When I got that card, to me, it was a really empowering feeling. However, when I was working with the Maiden energy, you saw how overwhelming that was. You saw how chaotic and tumultuous that was. And now that on the bottom of the deck from the Crone we have the Eight of Cups, I kind of understand why. What I feel like is happening is we are choosing ourselves. We are choosing our either spiritual path, our emotional path of freedom. We are choosing ourselves in a way that we haven't done before. And that is very powerful energy. That is very optimistic energy with the Sun. We are rejecting this fear that we've lived in, that we've experienced, that other people have. Sorry guys, you're gonna see me looking at this camera because that's how I normally talk to the camera. I'll try to look at you. Okay, instead of the fear that we have normally experienced, the fear that has made us suppress our emotions, has made us hide, shrink, not speak our truth. We have decided with the Eight of Cups at the bottom of the deck, we're walking away from that. And with the Page of Swords coming out, Page, adventure, learning, new path. You've graduated from the Ten of Swords, which is a very painful place, right? But we've not yet moved into the Knight. So we are. And you know, I find it interesting. I do this a lot. The one addiction I say I have is I'm addicted to learning. I probably have more, right? We all have our own patterns of behavior that we're trying to, but I am addicted to learning. So the pages are all really like, I love them because I'm like, oh yeah, I feel like I'm always a page. I'm always wanting to learn. But one thing I've come to realize is if we are in that page energy, a lot of times we can limit ourselves. We can collapse our own understanding of how much we know, how much we've learned. Because if you think you're always a student, you don't acknowledge the mastery you've already experienced in your life. We can learn so much and apply so much to our lives and always be looking for the next thing. But we really have to honor, right? We have to go big, rise up, step into our power. The power that we've learned over the years, that we have been the student of and mastered, and continued in these cycles of expansion, of soul expansion, of emotional expansion, of just this experience here on earth. So with it being mental energy, to me this is saying, as you're stepping into this new path, this new expression, this new cutting away of anything that's been binding you, whether that is emotional, we're talking about swords, so it's probably not, but whatever limiting beliefs you've had, beliefs that people don't care. Oh, and I just said that at the beginning, right? We need to lean into our friends, understanding that our friendships are valuable, that our friends do care about what we have to say. Being a student in our mental space, being a student, and this reminds me, in my book I talk about being a gatekeeper of your thoughts. An exercise to do for the day is to really, and I got this from Joe Dispenza, that's where I learned this activity, but committing to a day where you're just going to examine the thoughts that you have, write them down, think about them, and really quickly, you're going to notice a pattern emerge. You're going to be like, hey, I just thought that like 30 minutes ago, and maybe not even 30 minutes ago. It could be sooner than that. But with this Page of Swords, being a student of your thoughts, examining them, learning from them. We're not condemning them, but using them as a compass to get to this justice, the fairness. What is fair to you? What is just? What is right? A lot of times that ongoing narrative in our mind is not going to be fair to us, is not going to be just to us, is not going to be right. Because our old narrative was a reflection of fear, was a reflection of what we thought other people could be thinking, what we thought other people were feeling, right? I find that a lot of women with ADHD, because we have such an open awareness, such a spaciousness, such an awareness of everything around us, we are able to identify whenever other people transition into their moods, right? And as women, we're programmed, literally programmed, to find all the problems. I just recently discovered Alison Armstrong's work, and I cannot recommend her enough. Completely life-changing. I will try to link a video of hers below if you want to check her out. But she works in relationships. She studied men for the past over 30 years. And in the process of studying men, she's also studied women to understand the difference, right? So our brains literally work to find the problems, to nurture the connections, to make things better. That's how our brains are wired. And in that way, that means we're always looking for imperfection. So we've had this negative programming, this negative lens our whole lives. And now, as we grow in our consciousness, as we expand our knowledge of how we are wired, of how we're working, of the way that our bodies work, the way that our thoughts influence our body, we're stepping into the justice. We're stepping into this power. Like, is this not power? Justice in this power card? Tell me that's not power. Magnificent power. And where, with the Seven of Cups at the bottom of the deck, this could have been overwhelming before, and it may even be overwhelming now. The Maiden is telling us with this Ace of Pentacles, this is such a new gift, such a new opportunity. It doesn't, every time I see this with the hand coming out, it's always a gentle gift, a gentle offering, right? It's not being shoved down your throat. It's a gift. Do you want to take this? Do you want to take this new reality? Pentacles are all grounded energy, are all material energy. Do you want to take this new mental, with the swords, this new mental approach, because we've already talked about this many times, your mind affects your body. It's a loop. It keeps going. So do you want to take this new mental approach to be able to step into your power, to choose love? Love in all things, right? Love for yourself, love for others, love for the world. Love, if you can make choices with the lens of love, what a gift that would be. What a genuine gift that would be. Transitioning now to the cards from the mother. We were given the sun, and I really do just love this sun card so much. Ooh, with the magician underneath that. Oh, the sun. You know, the weather has been really nice here. I live in South Carolina, so it's warmer than most places in the U.S. But on those fall days where it starts getting crisp and the sun comes out and you just step out and you're like, oh, the sun feels so good. It's not too hot. It's just perfect. That's the energy I'm feeling with the mother right now. Perfect. But what's interesting, when I said the word perfect, it automatically triggered something in my brain. It automatically triggered me to think, but not perfect. Like perfect as in this is the best expression of this moment right now. It's not perfect because everything is right. It's perfect because I am here in this moment. Surrendering to this moment, to the imperfections of this moment. It's perfect because I'm here. The first card that we were given is the Four of Pentacles. And I've mentioned this a few times. This card always reminds me of meditation just because of the way she's sitting. It's not quite a meditative pose, but it's very open, right? It's very open. A lot of times people talk about the Four of Pentacles being stingy, being, holding on too tightly to what you have. But that's one reason I love tarot. I love the different decks you can get because there are different lenses, different ways that the illustrators depict the card. So here, to me, this one's always about balance, stability, and just openness. Her hands are full, but she's not holding tightly. She's just showing. It's almost an invitation like, look, this is what I have. Do you need some? If you need some, I'm happy to be that stability for you. And right beside this, having the fear right beside this card. And these colors are very similar. The mother or the maiden ended with the Ace of Pentacles, and then the mother starts with the Four of Pentacles. So this is grounded to grounded. Very stable energy. So when you're stepping into this new pattern of thought, rising up, deciding to get in your power, to get in your sun, right? The sun is radiant. Get in your sun power, radiate the justice that you've decided to experience in your life, the fairness, the balance. Being stable in that, because that is the only choice required. We have the Seven of Cups underneath the deck, which can be an overwhelm of choices, a plethora, a multitude of choices. But if you can come down to a grounded aspect with the Four of Pentacles and use the lens of love as your choice. Would love choose this? Would this be a reflection of love for myself? Would this be a reflection of love for all? Is this for the highest good of all? Those questions, we can use those. And that can help us ground in this Four of Pentacles. That can keep us from becoming too overwhelmed, from floating in our head and daydreaming in the clouds. That can keep us grounded in here and now. Followed with the Two of Wands. This is planning. Planning how we are going to continue to step into our power. You guys, I was going to try not to share it, but this is just too much of what we've been talking about this week. So I launched the maiden voyage of my Phoenix framework this week. And I'm working with some wonderful women. And this first week is all about discovering the real you. Planning from a point of who are you, Not who are you expected to be, not who are you conditioned to be. Who are you? What is important to you? What are your values? What are your strengths? What are your unique traits? And when we come back to an understanding with this new mental pattern, the Page of Swords, when we can come back to that and use the lens of love for ourselves, because when we are being authentically us, when we are choosing us, that is the greatest gift to the world, because it ripples out. People are like, oh wow, you're choosing you. I can choose me. And choosing you doesn't mean saying no to everything else. It means saying no to what doesn't align with you. Because when you protect your energy, you can pour it into what actually does. That's why everyone has different interests. That's why everyone has different things that they like. Because we can all cover the different bases. We're not all expected to be 100% involved in everything. So use this new energy, this Page of Swords energy, this clarity, this lens of love, to make these decisions, to schedule something out for yourself, to make micro choices. If you have a big goal, instead of trying to decide where you're going to get there, how you're going to get there, break it down. And you're going to do that by using this Eight of Cups energy, walking away from what doesn't serve you, what doesn't get you there. Ask yourself, does this get me closer to where I want to go? Does this honor me? Does this align with me? And if the answer is no, then you're going to use that Eight of Cups and you're going to walk away. You're going to plan to walk away from what doesn't serve you so that you can get into the Six of Wands. This celebration. And I do have to say, when I saw it earlier, I thought it was the Five of Wands. So I had already kind of started thinking about it that way. And then I saw it was the Six, and I was like, oh yes, the Six of Wands. Thank you. I feel like we have all struggled with so much. We've been through so much. We don't want any more of that energy. We don't want any more competition. And maybe that's why this is important. You will be able to celebrate because you're not competing with someone else. You're not comparing your life to someone else's life. You're not comparing your experiences, your values, whether you should say yes or no to the mother in your neighborhood that always says yes. That's okay. And you don't have to judge her for saying yes. Her choice. Maybe she hasn't had her consciousness expanded to realize it really is her choice, but it is always her choice. So we don't have to condemn her either, but don't compare yourself to that. Think about your ideal life, your ideal day, your perfect day. If you had no obligations, what would it look like? And start choosing some of those freedoms again. Start choosing some of those joys again. Whether that's crafts or dance or yoga or painting or gardening, whatever it may be. Start choosing that again so you can get into the Six of Wands, this victory, this success, this acknowledgement, right? The Six of Wands is being celebrated, is being recognized. So if you can do this, not even if, I know you can. When you do this, you will be recognized for the momentous work you have done. You've completely changed. You've flipped the script. You've changed the wiring. And that is worthy of celebration. That is worthy of celebration. Can't make this stuff up. I just said I thought this was the Five of Wands. Then I realized it wasn't and I was excited. And guess what the Crone gave us? The first card is the Five of Wands. Okay. Five of Wands. Eight of Wands. That's nice. Eight of Wands. And Six of Pentacles. Okay, so I don't think it is competition the way that I normally read the Five of Wands. What I'm seeing here is tension. I know these birds are fighting, but if you look here, you can kind of see this reminded me of a bungee cord. It's not, it's obviously a stick that this bird's holding, but that image was in my head of a bungee cord. And so I'm seeing the tension between this previous existence, right? The tension between the way you used to make decisions, the way you used to decide, am I going to do this? Am I not going to do this? And the tension between this new life, this power, this authenticity, this sun, this Six of Wands, the tension between here and there it's just massive, right? So that is where this Five of Wands is coming from. Because the Crone always gets straight to it, right? And with the Eight of Cups at the bottom, she's telling you that tension, you're going to have to examine it. And the things that don't serve you, you're going to have to cut them. You're going to have to burn them, right? With Wands energy, with fire, burn them. Don't let them have any type of binding on you. Burn them. And then we have the Eight of Wands, which is swift movement, right? Momentum. This change. I already felt like you were already in this, right? When I opened it up, I was like, this is a transition. This is something you're going through. You're already deciding to change the way you think. You're already deciding to change the way that you are living your life. I was just called to read the card to the side with Justice, Two of Wands, and the Eight of Wands. When you are balancing and choosing the fair thing, the thing that is going to be best for all, the highest good of all. This and love, right? If those can be your lenses for planning, you will make change swiftly. It's amazing how quickly we can change things. It's amazing how quickly we can impact things. And I've experienced in my own spiritual awakening, in my own journey, you deal with something for years and years and years and years, and maybe you've been working on it. You've been trying to change your wiring or trying to stop being triggered, right? We work on all those things in the background. And it gets to a point where it just clicks. Like you're like, oh, that was the last piece. That was it. That's the thing. And that's what I feel like this is saying here. Like, once you can accept this and fully integrate this in your life, there is no stopping the momentum that follows. And we have the Crone ending with the Six of Pentacles. Again, grounded energy coming through here. Grounded energy. And that's right under the Six of Wands. So maybe 66 is someone's number. That's the only numbers I'm being called to right now, so that might be for someone. And with this being right under the Six of Wands, the way this Six of Wands is depicted, there's so much sisterhood here. What I'm being led to say is this will help you learn to accept help, accept love, accept, we also have money here. Accept the help, the financial help of others. This work will help you heal that divine feminine ability to receive. And I'm being given like the image of like somebody's front door and FedEx comes and drops a pot package off, right? But they just left it because that's how normally deliveries are made. The door wasn't open. They didn't hand it to somebody to receive it. So it was delivered, but it wasn't received. And with that, I'm being guided to say this healing is going to help you not only have something delivered, but have you in a state where you can consciously see the package coming, constantly remain open to the package, and thankfully, lovingly, gratefully receive it. And not receive it as, oh, wow, I'm so unworthy of this. But receive it with the knowledge that you knew it was coming because you know your worth and you know that you deserve to receive these things. You deserve to have things given to you, to be taken care of, to be loved, to be honored and cherished, to be understood, to be welcome, to belong. I've talked about this a few times, but I started this channel because there was nothing like it, and most of my life I've just wanted to be understood. I've just wanted to to belong, to have people experience my reality. And as women with ADHD, we often can understand the situations of others. We have a higher level of emotional intelligence, that high empathy level, that high, I talked about this at the beginning with Allison, that open awareness, being able to tell what's going on. But many of us don't experience others genuinely understanding the depth of who we are as people, the depth of our emotions, the depth of our understanding, the depth of our feelings and our love. And that's what I wanted. I wanted a place for other women who felt deeply, other women who understood deeply, to be able to come together and feel and belong together. So I hope this channel has been able to provide that for you. If it has, please let me know below. Sending love and light to anyone that is open to receive it. Thank you, Maiden. Thank you, Mother. Thank you, Crone, for this gorgeous message of hope, for this instruction, for this encouragement to step into our power, to step into our truth, to step into our love. And for this glimpse into the future where we're recognized and celebrated for our greatness, where we're not even resisting this tension, but digging into the tension that we experience. Understanding that it's required to take us from this place to this. And I talked about this a couple of readings ago. You don't get the recognition and the celebration of the Six of Wands without having gone through this, without having gone through the war, the turmoil, the struggle. You can't overcome without having that experience. So thank you for the encouragement today that we've been given. I know I am ready to surrender more and more to my divine feminine, to be open to receive as a very independent Capricorn woman. That's not something I've always been inclined to do, and I'm learning more and more every day, and I hope you are as well. If this message stirred something for you and you think you would like to step even further, I have my free 3-day reset. It'll be linked below. You can check it out. It's a journey with the Maiden, Mother, and Crone over the course of 3 days to help you rebuild self-trust, rebuild that lens of love for yourself. And I'd be honored to join you there. Oh, also I forgot. New for you. I have decided to open personal readings. I have a limited number of readings available. You can find the link below. I will reopen them every month. Right now, once they're gone, they're gone. So I would love to support you there if that's something you'd be interested in. And I'd like to thank you for joining me this far. If you made it to the end, bravo, especially with the way I ramble sometimes. So thanks for being here. Thank you for showing up for a reading. Thank you for sharing this space with me, sharing this energy with me. I'm so honored to read for you. You are such a magnificent person. You have such a magnificent energy. And every time you come to this table with me, I am truly honored. So thank you so much. All right. We'll see you next time. Bye.